Hi guys, it's me again. It's been a while since I made my last video. Now, I want to share with you more information about student visa. Kasi ang dami pa rin nagtatanong tungkol sa student visa. I don't think I've given you enough information from the last time. Now, I want to share you more information about the student visa. So, ano ba talaga ang kailangan para mag-apply ng student visa? So, here are the three main important things for the student visa. Una, yung proof of acceptance. Pangalawa, proof of identity, which is your passport. And then three is proof of financial support. Now, let's discuss one by one. Let's start with the proof of acceptance. With proof of acceptance, you need to apply in one of the schools in Canada. Hindi lang din yung any school in Canada. You need to choose also the school that is or you need to choose from the list of designated learning institutions in Canada. Kasi hindi lahat ng schools ng Canada ay nagbibigay ng PGWP. PGWP means post-graduation work permit. So that means that after graduation, Canada will allow you to work. So you need to choose that from that school from the list and you can find the list in immigration website. And once you found the school, you need to apply. You need to apply in their website. And then I'm not sure about the other school, but an example of one school that I have applied before is $100. Maybe mostly they charge $100 for the application, which is like 4,000 pesos in our money. And once you're accepted, then you need to pay the 1 semester tuition. 1 semester tuition will cost roughly, it's not exactly 8,000, but it's around that amount, 8,000, which would be depending actually also on the equivalent rate between Canadian dollar and peso, but it plays between like roughly, it could be a little bit higher than 40 or a little bit lower than 40, or it could be 40. So but let's just use the 40 pesos for 1 Canadian dollar. So 8,000 would be 320,000 pesos. And then how much financial support do you need? Now, if only yourself is applying, you need 10,000 Canadian dollar as a support, which is 400,000 pesos. And then for the couple, if you are also applying with your husband or with your partner in life, then you will need 14,000 Canadian dollar as financial support. That would be 560,000 pesos. But then if you also have one child who will come with you, you want to take your child, you would only add another 3,000 Canadian dollar, which is like 12,000 pesos. So how do you show your proof of support? You can show it with a bank account. So you can submit your bank account showing that you have that much money in your bank account. Now, you have to be careful because you can't just like at one time you're going to put that much amount in your bank account. So let's say you borrow money from your friend or any relatives and then put in your account, like all of a sudden you have that much money in your account. You have to be careful because your application might be denied. So there has to be enough in and out of your account for that much money. Or maybe you have a support, or maybe that money had been given to you as a gift, but you need to have a support for that money. Or it's a GIC. That means you deposit your money from the bank in the Philippines, and then through the bank in the Philippines you're going to buy a GIC. That's like an investment, but that will be with the bank here in Canada. And so you're going to put that much money. And then if you don't have those two, you can also use the third one if you have some relatives in the Philippines. If you have some relatives here in Canada. It's a letter from relatives. Sa halimbawa may kapatid kayo o kaya may parents or any close relative who's willing to sponsor and they have enough money, then they can give a letter that they're going to support your stay here in Canada. So how much would you spend for your application? If you do it yourself, that means you DIY, do it yourself application, but you need to have the credit card to be able to pay for this fees, because you need to pay with this one in the immigration website. The visa will cost $150, which is 6,000 pesos. And then the biometrics, if you're applying by yourself, it's $85. That would be, so guys, my the peso here, I just convert that. I just use the 40 pesos equivalent rate for the Canadian dollar. So it could be more, it could be lower, but let's just use the $40 because sometimes it's 39 or 41 or 42. So if it's if it's couple or no, a family, like you have one child, so it's $170. So it's up for you now to convert that to peso. Now, of course, it's cheaper if you do it yourself because you will do all the work. So you're like, if you are going to pay an agency or someone, an agent, of course you might spend like 80,000 pesos, or maybe they're gonna charge 100,000 pesos. It's because they're gonna do all the work. So like for that, maybe like 10,000 pesos would only be enough for the application, because you're gonna do, if you're able to do it yourself. Like you're good in computer and you're good in like fill up the form in the computer, so you can save money. Otherwise you're going to hire someone to do that for you. So it's because of your experience, or like they learn already how to do it. So it depends how much they charge. It could be 100,000 or maybe 80,000 or even 120,000, but because they're gonna do all the work. So if you know how to do it, or if you're good in computer, you better do it yourself. So you can just, instead of using the money for payment to pay for an agent, so you can just use that money to for your financial support. So let's check how much money do we need. So if you're applying by yourself, so you applied in this for the school application, for the school you pay $100, and then for the visa $150, biometrics $85, and then for your tuition $8,000. So that is only like for one semester. And then you need financial support, which is 10,000. So that will be, all of them will be 18,335. So how much is that in peso? So let's just use the $40 40 pesos rate. So roughly it will be 733,420. Plus you will also need to do your medical. I think I'm not sure how much they charge in the Philippines, but I've heard it's 15,000. So if it's 15,000 plus the 733, then you can have 748. Plus you're gonna buy later on for your ticket. The tickets are so expensive, so it's 80,000 pesos. So just do the math. Now what? Let's presume you've done all of those. You have all the money, you've done the processing. Now let's say you get the visa. Now what are you gonna do when you get to Canada? What you have to plan. So this is what's gonna happen. You need to find, now if you don't have relatives where you can stay, you need to find a place to stay. Now if you are able to find a room just for yourself, just one room, it could be 500, it could be 600, it could be 700. It depends the location, it depends on the house. But then if you can't find, you're gonna have to find an apartment, which is like way too expensive. It could be 1,200. But let's say you're able to find just one room. So that is roughly $600. And then you need to get a phone. It could be $60 monthly. By the way, the laptop, each student in Canada should have a laptop. So you need to have a budget for that. It could be $700, $800. It depends on what kind of laptop you're gonna get. And then let's say your food is just $240. That is already like really, really, really cheap food. So you'll probably like roughly $900 expenses. That's just the minimum. It could be way more. And then where are you gonna get that money to pay for for that? Now students are allowed to work only 20 hours per week. Yun lang ang pinapayag, inaallow ng government ng estudyante para magtrabaho. So, let's say it's because we're still students, so we normally get the minimum pay. Or let's just presume we get the minimum pay, $16. So you will have roughly $320 a week. And then if you have $320 a week, you will have $1,280 per month. Well, just for the 4 weeks. It could be a little bit more because you have more than 4 weeks for a month. And then you also have to pay, so you have $1,280 a month. Now, like for your income, for your 20 hours work every week. But then your expenses also is at least $900 a month. So how much are you able to save? Let's say you can save $300 because 900 could be more. Well, roughly let's assume you can save $300 a month. Like in one semester, you'll have 3 or 4 months. Like if 4 months and $300, you could only save like $1,200 for the one semester to work. Is it one? But the following semester, for the second semester, you need to pay another $8,000. Where are you gonna get that money? So when you wanna come, like you need to make plan for that amount of money. Considering this is only the hours of work that you, the hours that you're allowed to work every week. It would be better if you're a couple, because then your partner can work full time. Though the rent would be higher too, and then you'll pay 2 phones too, and then you're gonna double your expenses for the food too. But then at least they can pay. He can work full time. It might help a little bit. Now, you say, oh, that's a lot of money. How about, can I just take 1 year program? Okay. So let's see, you're going to take only 1 year program. That means the government will only give you also 1 year work, which means you'll be given, after your graduation, you can apply for PGWP, which is post-graduation work permit. And if you only finished 1 year, you will also be given only 1 year of work permit. So that means you're allowed to work for 1 year. And then what's gonna happen? So if you want to stay, you need to find an employer who will sponsor you. If you can't find an employer who will sponsor you, then you need to go back home to the Philippines. That is not our plan. We want to stay here in Canada. So it's better to do it 2 years, because if you finish 2 years in school, you will be given 3 years of work permit. And after the 2 years of work permit, after 2 years of working, you would already be given, you would already be allowed to apply for permanent residency. So that 1 year, because you're given 3 years work permit, so that 1 year that you're working, the remaining 1 year of the 3 years that was given to you, that is also like you're waiting for your processing for your work, for your permanent residency. So it's better to take 2 years program. And that's all for today. Just message me or write your comment if you have more questions. Thank you. Bye.